All right. It looks like we're good to go again. All right, guys, what's up? So, super sort of funny and at the same time annoying thing that has happened is I did this yesterday on time when I was supposed to, and I was on my wrong account. I basically have a like fake account that I use when I'm on my phone. So when my daughter watches random Paw Patrol and Baby Shark videos, they don't end up on my they don't mess up with my what I should watch on my channel thing. So I accidentally was on that account, and I actually did this whole talk that I'm about to give you guys again, which because I gave it to nobody yesterday, and I just assumed nobody was on, and it was a bad time of the day, and that's why no one popped on. And then at the end of it all, I realized that what actually happened was I was going live to nobody because it was an account with 0 followers or any kind of subscriptions at all. So that was kind of awesome. But yeah, we're on again here. We're doing our thing. This is Live Inc. This is episode 5. It's kind of cool. I've been doing this now for that long because usually I have really big plans and I'm horrible at following through with them because I then think of a different cool thing I can do and another cool thing I could do, and I'm thinking of 10 different cool things I could do, and so it makes me kind of miss one or two of the things I want to do. But right now I'm on it. I'm killing it. I am in the flow of loving getting on every week. Just me, sort of solo show to kind of help out the channel and give you guys more stuff that I've always wanted to talk about that we don't always end up covering whenever we do the I'd Rather Be Motivated podcast, which actually just aired too on Tuesday and not on Sunday. So this is just coming a couple of days later. But today's topic, something that I wanted to start talking about, was something that is sort of on my mind, if that makes sense, is burnout. So talking about sort of the idea of you want to start a really big, awesome project, and you don't want to end up at the end of that project hating the project or just not finishing the project at all. That's kind of the thing that's been on my mind because update, which is like what I do to do here at the beginning while I'm waiting to see if anybody does jump on and do their thing, is analog missions. I have now inked and posted every image which will go into what I would call basically chapter 1 of the book itself. So chapter 1 is done. I have it all scanned in. I'm formatting it, and I am getting it all, adding bleeds, making sure everything will print nicely and correctly. And then on top of all that, I am also starting to letter it and add my digital gray tones to it, which for anybody who's been following along, I've been talking about that. I'm going to sort of do like a digital gray tone thing to it, where I'll add actually a second layer of gray tone because I'm still new, sort of using the, what do you call those now? I can't even think of it, screen tones. And I'm not trying to go too overboard with them before I really learn how to use them. So I'm kind of doing like a double thing where I'm actually using sort of what I know about like digital shadows and stuff and screen tone and gray tones and just sort of general gray tone techniques that I always use. I'm just kind of mixing the two together, and I think it's working out really nice. So I'm excited to sort of share more of that too when I get there with that, because right now I'm not really in the shareable stage with all that yet. So anyways, yeah, let's get right into it. So I kind of talked about it already, but yeah, what is it? What is burnout? Burnout, the idea is that a lot of times as an artist, it's really easy to get caught up in making your awesome project and spend so much time on it in a day, in a week, whatever, that you actually end up in a worse place because you're like, I made so much progress, but it's like, but you did it so consistently and in your own face of it that you end up being like, I need to take a break. And then your break turns into a long, long break, which then turns into you sort of getting over the project and then maybe starting something else in the meantime. And then like just never finding your way back to that project that you started with, kind of thing. So that's kind of what I'm referring to. And I wanted to sort of use this episode because it happens, or has happened to me a lot, and it used to a lot more before I sort of developed strategies and stuff that I want to talk about in today's episode. So I'm going to split these into 3. There are 3 different, what I would say, techniques or habits that I have picked up along the way that I'm going to share with you guys, and I think will make for a nice little episode of Live Ink. And fun story about this, right? I'm like halfway through adding my details and inking on this thing. It's because I did it yesterday during the show. So you're looking at what takes 30 minutes for me to ink, and now I'm going to get hopefully another 30 minutes in to 20 minutes, depending on how long I talk. So let's talk about number one. The first topic is multiple projects. So this might sound completely counterintuitive to the idea that your one project is burning you out. So why don't you start another one? And what I mean by that is this. Currently, I'm working on Analog Missions, my own comic, which will be somewhere around 36 pages and print off in a book of about 50 pages with extra content and cool stuff that I kind of add to it as well, right? So I'm in the middle of trying to make a 50-page book here. I could literally spend every minute, every hour, and every just section of my time on this thing. But what'll end up happening is I'll stare at it for so long, and I'll just want to like literally just punch the wall about this thing that I will end up not wanting to work on it tomorrow. And I need to work on it a little bit every day to get it done. So it'll end up being worse for me to put all of my time and energy into this project, because in the end, then I won't want to be working on the project during times where I know I need to. So what I'm doing is I have two things going right now. I have a sort of series, which I call my under 30 series, which is the idea that I have sort of made a list of just fun little fan art pieces to draw. And when I draw them, I basically time lapse them, and they have to only last 30 minutes. Like all the inks I'm done, or all the pencils, I guess not inks, because that's not possible for me. All the pencils that I do for all of these only end up lasting 30 minutes. And if I need more time, which sometimes I do, I have to add it in the ink stage. So at the 30-minute mark, I set a little egg timer, a little timer on my phone, depending on what I have with me, that literally goes off and tells me to stop. Sometimes I finish earlier. Sometimes I need more time. But the idea is I am only ever going to spend a maximum amount of time of that on on the drawings for that project. So that's a fun little like side thing, right? That's not huge. That's not anything with any kind of deadlines or anything like that. It's just like in between other stuff I'm posting. You will also see me posting this. And it's how I'm helping myself out with the sort of idea of I need to work, I need to draw, I need to get in my zone, but I don't want to get started on the comic right now. Then I will do that. I'll jump on and I will set up a little camera over my workstation, and I'll just like draw a character or something or an idea I've had. Usually ends up being like I'm doing little 5x7 characters. That's kind of what the format has kind of presented itself as. So we'll kind of see if that continues. It seems to be working out pretty well, because then it's like really fun taking recommendations for it too. I've started kind of asking you guys on the Instagram and the different channels to sort of give me ideas of things you'd like to see me do in this with this little formatter style. And so that's been working out really well. So multiple projects, meaning like have something in the background. Don't have only this one single thing going, where if you need to be in your zone in your studio and you need to be creating, but you don't want to be currently doing a comic thing because you're just like punching yourself in the face over a panel or like an angle that you just can't get, you'll have your thing to fall back on. All right. So number two is creating lists. And so I kind of just did make that comment. I kind of talked about that idea of that you want to, I like have a big old list of things that I can draw kind of thing, but this goes deeper than that. The idea here is that like I have a literal list of the pages I need to draw, the panels I still need to draw, what I can do on a Saturday, on a Friday, on a Thursday kind of thing. And that kind of actually goes to my second kind of thing in that category, which is I have like a schedule of events kind of thing. Like I know exactly what Wednesday will look like in terms of this. Like every single Wednesday is a comic day. Every single Monday is a comic day. Every single Friday is a comic day. So I kind of have like comic day and then like draw whatever I kind of feel like or want to day in between. And so, and I'm sorry, I'm usually way better spoken than this, but I'm kind of like, I'm really in the zone here with this. This is turning out really cool. But yeah, I have my like comic day and then I have my other kind of day too. So, and I do this from school. So I'm usually, this is my plan period right now. This is kind of my time to not exist for the other people who usually need me in the world. And then I always do my live thing then. And that's usually when I do stuff like this, like my other projects and the things that I am not trying to focus on. That's why someone's knocking on my door right now, but I'm going to ignore them because I don't have time to answer them. So creating lists and making a schedule is a really awesome thing. Like kind of being like, hey, today is not comic day. Today is just like draw some sketches or practice some anatomy day or like, whatever those things are that you need to do in between. Those are kind of really super important. That's probably one of my biggest things that has been helping me lately is having like a schedule of what day I'd work on certain things and not work on certain things, kind of stuff. I'm loving this. This is really fun. I've never drawn this character before, but I've been getting from the recommendations of other people. I started watching My Hero Academia, and it actually is pretty good. I was not expecting it to be the kind of anime that I'm into, because I do love a good anime, but I'm usually very picky about them. And so this one has surprised me as to fitting my tastes. One second, guys. I'm just noticing watching my thing here that I may need to lift my camera up a little bit. It's kind of doing a continuously trying to focus thing that I think might be annoying if you end up watching this. All right, so man, yeah, I'm already past 2 of my points. I'm flying through this. I didn't know how much I'd really have to talk about this. I just knew I had some good stuff to throw at you guys, right? So number 3, your stress relief. So I think this is the number one thing to sort of like get into your brain and know that you've got your personal project and you love it, it's your passion and it makes you happy, and you just want to wake up every morning and you want to draw your comic, and that's real and you should feel that. But sometimes you got to do the other thing, right? Sometimes you got to be like, what is my thing that I do to relieve stress when maybe I don't want to draw my other random project that I've started, and I don't want to draw my comic either. So for me, it's playing video games. It is enjoying the weather and skating, which is not happening right now in Missouri. We are getting snow like every freaking day, even if it's just like a stupid flurry. It is not great weather for the outside. And then it's also reading. Like, I love reading a good comic, obviously, since I'm a maker of comics, and I love reading a good manga or even just a good sci-fi story or something like that. So, and I always have my thing. So I'm always currently in the middle of some series that I'm just, taken in all the way fully. Like, you're not going to get me off this kind of thing. Like, in my spare time, I'm going to read a good book and I'm going to enjoy it and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't take time for yourself in between your projects, it is probably number 2 for burning out. Like, number one for me is definitely the I only have one project and it's the only thing I think of, and I think about it for a whole week, and then when I'm over it and I don't know what else to do because I've only been focused on that one project. But then number 2 is the just stress, right? Like, the more and more that you get yourself stressed out about your project, then you end up in that worst trap ever of just like not wanting to touch the thing even though you love it. So you got to have your thing you do, like your breathe in my spare time thing, that you take time for yourself. That's a good way of wrapping that one up, right? Take time for yourself. Maybe you schedule a day. What I do is I post on my social media channels on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I do not post on the weekends anymore, except for doing our live show on Sundays, because of that. So it's like I sort of reserve the weekdays to just like, I know I work, I know I have some free time in between, I know I go home and I have some free time in between, and that's when I'm nailing things and getting drawings and comic stuff done. And then on the weekend, I still do it, but I don't have any of the stress of like, and what am I posting, and what is this thing, and what is that thing? Or even if I'm like, you know what, I don't want to draw during my draw time today because it's Saturday. Saturday is my day off, and that might not work for you guys. A lot of times it's the other way around, right? It's the weekends are my only time to get myself focused and do things. So then you should pick certain weekdays where you know that you're going to do your stress relief thing. I cannot even emphasize that enough of how easy it is to get yourself caught in that trap if you are just constantly only ever drawing and never taking just a little bit of time to just like breathe and do your own thing. So really, that's it. I mean, I say really that's it. Like, that wasn't like I didn't have good things to say, and that wasn't some good advice, but I hope you hear it, and I hope if you've been experiencing this or feeling it, that you know what I'm saying. Because a lot of times what it is you don't have tons of time, right? Like, just in general, how much time you have in a week probably isn't that much. And so maybe sometimes you just need to be realistic with your goals too. I think sometimes people get really unrealistic because they see random guy that I follow number B and random guy I follow A, and they post every day and their stuff is awesome and it's huge quality, and it just seems like they're just pumping things out, and you're like, well, what does that guy also do, right? Is he doing it full time? Does he have a part-time job like you do, or a full-time job like you do? And you got to look at your time, and you got to be realistic, and you can't measure yourself up to other people's, like, what their thing of success is. I think that's another thing, right? It's like everybody's gonna have their own flow. I'm not a fast drawer. I take that's kind of why I'm doing my 30-minute series. I take way more time than most people do to get like a really good thing that I'm comfortable with and I want to clean up and finish, kind of get started kind of thing. So I don't have like, I mean, I have a goal in March. I am going to have a Kickstarter and I'm going to try and get this book funded and get it made. So March is my goal, but day to day, I'm working it until I get there. And if I have to take that big stretch in the end when I realize I'm running out of time, that's totally fine with me. But all the way leading up to that, I'm not trying to burn myself out before I even get to that point. Because if I do, then I'll get to that point and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna have to push this back or something like that. And I'm not looking to do that. I'm in a zone where I'm not about to be like, oh, I've been saying March this whole time, but it's gonna happen. I am going to finish this thing and I'm gonna make it happen. And I'm on track and I'm in the flow to do that. But it's really easy as I flow through this. If I'm not careful, I can get myself in a bad place before I get to the end of it. And so, stuff like this, taking my time to randomly make another drawing like this about something. Just take a day where I know I'm not working on the comic. I'm just having fun doing what I love, which is drawing. I think that's super important. So that wraps up kind of like what I'm saying about that last thing, right? So let's do my summary thing here, and then I can kind of just talk as I draw here, because I do like to just be on doing my thing. Number one, 2 projects at once, 2, 3, 4 projects at once. It's totally fine. It's actually good for you, I think. So the idea is to have one big project and have a bunch of little projects. And what I mean by little projects is my 30 minutes a thing, right? I throw myself into a drawing for 30 minutes underneath the camera. And when it's done, I'm done, and then I move on, right? So I have 2, and then I have my big 9x12 drawings I like to finish for prints. So like, I just finished up one that I'm going to post later on next week that I also worked on kind of on my off day, because I have my on and my off day, which is number 2, which is make lists and make a schedule. So my schedule is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's all about the comic. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm allowed to draw other things and whatever I want to enjoy my love of drawing. So number 3 being, don't skip out on the stress relief, right? Do not be somebody who that goes to number 1, right? You only have one project. It's your personal passion, love comic, and you do it every day, and you do it every day for a week, and you think of nothing else but it. You stay up late, you wake up early, then you get tired, you get exhausted, and then you take out that how tired and exhausted you are on your project, and you start to sort of hate it. And so you got to have like a day every week, if not more, that you don't even touch it. Like maybe you draw a little bit in the morning and then you just put it down and you play some video games and you read some good comics and you go outside and you say what's up to your friends and you go out and you just enjoy the fact that life is happening around you. Because I definitely think the get stuck in my basement as a creator thing that happens for most artists is like a big reason for the burning out thing. Like you just don't realize it until you haven't seen the light of day or talked to one of your friends in a week, but the only thing that's happening in your life is literally your comic, right? Like, I mean, that's fun and it lasts a pretty good amount of time when the only thing in your life is your comic, but I always see it, and I've done it to myself, but you start to sort of you get exhausted, you get grumpy, and you get annoyed, and you take that thing out on your comic or on your personal project, and then burnout, just like that, right? Because kind of like I said at the beginning, like burnout is that thing where it's almost like you find a way to personally attack your own thing that you're making and be like, oh, it's stupid anyways, and no one would even want to read it, so I should just stop. But it's really just you sort of like letting the stress build up on the project and forget that you're doing it because it's fun and because it's something that you love. So I hit the 20-minute mark. That seems to actually be where most of my episodes are ending, is in the 20-minute mark. So I'm going to kind of do a quick little wrap up here, not like just of me and some things happening that you want to pay attention to. Number 1 is subscribing to our newsletter. It's going to be in the show notes. It's going to be in the show notes of a lot of our videos for a while, because we're just trying to build up a really nice, just who's our audience and what do you guys want to see. We want to give some exclusive stuff to you guys. A PDF preview of my comic is going to show up early next year to only people subscribe to my newsletter for that month. And we just we're trying to just build it up and be able to like let you guys know without you missing a notification, because we know how social media works nowadays, where you follow a artist, but then you don't even see their update because of the way things pop in and out of feeds nowadays, and they don't happen chronologically. And you're like, dang, I don't even know it was that day. So you have to subscribe to the newsletter and check out the Instagram if you don't already follow me at Art of Mr. Fleming. Check out the show notes when I'm done here. And having a good day, guys. Thanks for everyone who popped in and watched it. And thanks for anybody who watches this afterwards. So peace.